Hey guys, this is Lauren Productions, aka 4673, and I am back in Wilder Rand Story. Yeah, I finally figured out who made this game. It's Sonnet009, who also made the game called Aloners. That was a pretty big deal, maybe a year ago? 1.5 years ago? I don't know, my sense of time is permanently ruined. Anyway, and welcome to this, I'm trying to see if I can make it a bit of a longer video, maybe an hour special. And, where we're just gonna be powering through this game. It's gonna be fun. So yeah. Let's do this. It's our wedding day. Yay. Overexcited, yay. I just moved my mic a little bit closer. There we go. And finally it is here. I eat a breakfast that has no taste. Then 2 maids work in tandem to prepare me. They bathe me, cover me in perfume, put makeup on my face. Finally, they dress me. The white gown is beautiful and feels like silk against my skin. But what it represents, I feel sick. Downstairs, the entire household waits for me. By now, it's already afternoon. We set up in a procession line. My uncle leads, followed by my aunt and I, side by side. Bahadur and Ran bring up the rear, walking the traditional 3 steps behind their masters. I give him a little glance. My eyes seek out Ran's, but he refuses to meet them. Does he regret what happened last night? Is he angry? Ashamed? He doesn't regret it. He's probably angry. He's not ashamed. Does he still want to hurt me? Probably. His cold, impassive face tells me nothing at all. I'm telling you, Jiraiya, he wants to kill you, brah. Before long, the palace looms. Are we getting married to the fucking prince? Is that what's going on here? And then the prince has some sort of, rumors? I think I should move away from the mic when I take a sip of tea so I don't ruin your ears with slurping. There we go. All the way along the steps, stand our guests, the highest nobility in Sia. A procession walks through the middle of the crowd, upward step by step until we reach the top. And there he stands, white-haired, long-bearded, decorated with the finest royal red robes and glittering jewels. The Shah, the man who rules all of Sia. My husband. Ah, my beautiful bride. I glance over my shoulder. Uncle Makram urges me gently with a gesture of his arms. Aunt Lamia gestures less gently. Your Majesty. The Shah smiles. His teeth are dull and wine-stained against the white of his beard. A man dressed in a flowing yellow robe steps forward, and the crowd hushes in respect for the heart-seer of our city. Honorable citizens of Sia, welcome. Under your gaze and the gaze of the gods, these 2 souls shall be joined this day. With that, the ceremony begins. I can barely hear a word of it over the pounding pulse in my ears. Once again, I can't help but look behind me. My aunt looks on with a smile, though her eyes flash with warning when she catches my eye. Rand stands still and deceptively obedient, his white skin and red eyes drying their own looks and whispers from some in the crowd. Bahadur's jaw is clenched, our gazes lock, and for a moment it almost looks as if he's going to step forward and speak. The moment passes, and he does not. My uncle wipes a tear from his eyes. When he smiled, it's a happy, proud smile. And may the gods bless us all. My head snaps back to the heart seer as his words finally filter through. Shah Malik, His Imperial Majesty, ruler of all Sia, will you take this woman's hand, lead her through life at your side, love her, keep her for the rest of your life? Her life. I will. Lady Jiraiya, ward of the royal advisor Shiki Makram, will you take this man's hand, walk through life at his side, love him, obey him for the rest of your life? I don't like how they say it's my life, not the rest of his life. I really don't wanna, bruh. I will. The words don't hurt as I speak them, but once they're out, I ache as if they have gutted me. Then it is done. From this date until your dying day, you are man and wife. A deafening cheer rises from the crowd. The Shah, my husband, crooks his arm and I take it, holding on tightly just to keep myself upright. That's a good girl. Come now. He suddenly raises his voice so everyone can hear. To the banquet! Another cheer rises and I am swept into the palace in a wave of celebration. The throne room has been transformed for the wedding feast. Tables line the halls from end to end, and the guests, our guests, mill round, unable to sit still until the Shah and his bride has taken their seats at the head table. As more of the crowd follows us, the Shah suddenly stops and turns back to the doors. Halt! My aunt and uncle pauses at the threshold, Bahadur and Ran stumbling to a stop behind them. The Jinn. Your Majesty, if you remember, we did discuss... Yes, Makram, I'm not senile yet, thank you. He takes a step and my uncle moves out of the way, presenting Bahadur and Ran to the Shah's suspicious eye. The Shah draws himself up as tall as he looks them over, though it is only my imagination that his wrinkled hands are trembling. In my 60 years as the ruler of Saya, no lower species have ever been allowed to step foot inside this palace. Ran flinches, red eyes flashing. Bahadur looks to my uncle and, at his nod, drops into a low bow. You honor us this day, Your Majesty. That's right, I do. The Shah turns his attention to Ran alone. Ran, who had previously looked bored with the whole affair, was far more interested in watching the food being brought to the table, has been provoked by the words lower species. He meets the Shah's eyes with cold defiance. This act alone could be grounds for public whipping or worse. If he opens his mouth, then oh gods. I am going to regret this big time, but I feel like I owe this person. Like, I'm not even thinking about the romance right now. I probably should be, but like, the whole, like, of course it's not personally the main character's fault, but like, we just... Oh god, I was about to... my mic was about to fall over. We owe this person, Ran, because, damn it. Oh, Ran, you're so silly. Forgive him, Your Majesty. He's simply overwhelmed, basking in your magnificence for the first time. The Shah seems at least appeased. Our family is grateful for your understanding, Your Majesty. You must think us terribly overprotective, but our precious Jiraiya has never stepped outside our villa without a G in this court for protection. Until yesterday, that was actually true. I have lived a very sheltered life, I know. Well, I do not mind making an exception this once for my beloved on our wedding day, though you understand that she will not be able to keep her pale companion in the palace. I have royal guards to keep us safe within these walls. Like Hamza, the giant of a man who's been standing silently at the Shah's back this entire time, gives a grunt and a nod. Yes, Your Majesty. Hamza must be the Shah's captain of the guard. He certainly got the intimidating look for it. There, you see, the Jinn will not be necessary. Even Aunt Lamia can't quite hide her displeasure at this news. No doubt the many silver pieces she paid for Ran are spinning through her mind right now. I feel Bahadur's eyes on me. It is what it is. I suppose I knew that I would have to say goodbye to Bahadur eventually, and I haven't known Ran for very long. If the Shah has declared it, so shall it be. Of course, Your Majesty, as you command. Uncle Makram is graceful and polite as always, though I can tell that even he finds the Shah's aversion to the Jinn to be utterly strange. Outright paranoia, I heard him call it once in a private moment at the villa. I'm not sure why the Shah is so mistrustful of the Jinn when this city is practically built on their backs. The one time I tried asking my uncle, he only shook his head and said, "It is not the slave he fears, but the master who might command them." Shall we, my pretty one? The Shah's word, whispered low into my ears, bring me back to the present. He guides me to our table, and finally everyone may be seated. He sits on his throne, and I take the space beside him. To his other side sits the Heartseer, and to mine sits my uncle. I look for my aunt, Lamia, Bahadur, and Ran, but they have all been lost to the throng of guests already. The feast begins. Eat food. I take a bite from some bread, but the crumbs taste like ashes in my mouth. Manage to swallow, then place the bread back on my plate and my hands in my lap. My dear husband, however, does not hold him back. He eats, he drinks, he laughs and makes speeches. Deep into his third cup of wine, he suddenly goes quiet and leans into me. Yeah, I've been feeling my creep senses tingling, and they're out of the roof. My precious flower, did you ever see my fourth wife? No, your majesty, I never had the chance. I hear that her beauty was unmatched, though. Yes, very pretty little thing. He presses closer, breath hot on my face. Bit of a cold fish, though, in many departments. The words wriggle in my ears like worms. But more repulsive than that are the fingers that find my knee and give a squeeze. Your majesty. Shh, no, my darling, I am your husband. The fingers remained, bold and shameless, hidden beneath the table. Well, Uncle darling won't be here for long. I grit my teeth and dig my nails into the palms of my hand. Some important politician of some kind approaches our table to pay his respects to the Shah and to me, I suppose. He must be a friend of Uncle Makram's, as they clasp hands and then both disappear from the table to speak in private. God damn it, Uncle! Before he takes his leave, my uncle bows to the Shah and once to the Heartseer. Even the Heartseer bows his head in return. It strikes me, not for the first time, just how respected my uncle is as the Shah's advisor. My thoughts linger on the Heartseer, who somehow managing to look wise and mystical, even as he tucks into a leg of lamb. I was fascinated with the Heartseer as a child. I read all sorts of books about them. I'd even wished to be one. Rare humans chosen by the gods with the divine gift of seeing into the truest parts of people's hearts and souls. I heard that Sia's Heartseer never leaves the Shah's side, lest any traitors or assassins needs to be weeded out. How cruel my wife is to ignore her poor husband so. On their wedding day, no less. His fingers pinch at my thigh, leaning close he breathes into my ear. Oh, but you do smell intoxicating, my flower. Oh my goodness, I am scared where this game is going. Damn it! I just want to end it so bad, but I know that we need to be strong because in this situation, like... He's the most powerful person. He's literally the king, okay? It would be a bad idea if we didn't. Oh my god. But still, oh my god. No, fuck that. I'm not letting Jiraiya endure this. I'm here to protect her. Forget propriety, forget obedience. If you're feeling intoxicated, perhaps the wine is to blame, husband. The Shah's face hardens in displeasure. I don't give him the chance to voice it. Excuse me, but I must get some air. Not looking back, I leave the table. I feel Captain Hamza's eyes on me, stern and disapproving, but ignore him. I don't even know where I'm going in this vast palace, but anyway, it's better than staying there with him. My lady. Bahadur, where did you come from? Bahadur merely smiles. What a truly perfect valet. I couldn't see him at all, but he must have been watching me the whole time. You take the whole protector thing very seriously, don't you? Of course, my lady. May I escort you somewhere? Anywhere. Bahadur frowns for a moment, then gestures to a nearby corridor. We slip away from the crowd, mostly unnoticed. The corridor is empty, save for a few servants running back and forth to bring food from the kitchens. Finally, I feel like I can breathe. Bahadur stands shielding me from the view of anyone out in the throne room who might look down at us in the hallway. He doesn't speak, but his face is lined with worry. My lady, He stops himself and looks down. What is it? This may be the last time we ever speak. He says it quietly, almost to himself. Be strong always. Please don't leave me here. Bahadur, don't leave me here. My lady. He smiles shakily, though I know him well enough to see the pain behind it. I wish I could have remained your valet my entire life, but I cannot be so selfish. We both have our duties to. Oh, yes, of course. Duty, duty, duty. Tears begin to prick at my eyes. Tears of frustration, of fear, of utter helplessness. Do you remember the day we met? Of course I do. I was a little girl, coming to my aunt's and uncle's estate for the first time. I was still too young to truly understand that this would be my home now, that my mother and father were never coming back. Bahadur stood just beyond the front door. Excuse me. The first jinn I had ever seen. You just threw yourself into my arms. You caught me though, didn't you? I'd never have so many questions thrown at me. How strong are you? Could you lift a house? Could you fight a lion? I may have been a little overcome. That was before I knew. Knew what, my lady? What an enormous softy you are. You wouldn't hurt a fly. Thank you, my lady, I think. We really have known each other for a long time, haven't we? Bahadur, if I asked, I'm not even sure what I'm about to ask, but my voice cracks around the words. It's a plea, but I don't know for what. Not that it matters. My lady, we shouldn't linger alone together for too long. Bahadur cuts off whatever it was I was about to say and glances anxiously back at the main room. He's not actually worried about anyone missing us. He just don't want to hear what I want to say. He doesn't want me to ask him to speak his mind. Coward. I have to go, or I really will cry this time. Understood. Goodbye, Bahadur. By some miracle, my uncle has returned, and the Shah is no longer at the table. Though, unfortunately, Captain Hamza remains. I go back to my seat, slipping back the mask of the dutiful bride. Ah, Jiraiya, His Majesty had to slip away for a moment, but I'm sure your doting husband won't leave you alone for long. Are you seriously doing this? Are you actually... I thought you were cool, but nope, fuck you. Excuse me, that's language, Nana, but seriously, that's not... If I'm right, he's probably at least 70 years old. Maybe. I don't know, he's an old man. The guy we're marrying, the Shah. And there's been rumors about him probably being a fucking creep who kills his wives. Are you just... Oh my god. His eyes twinkle as if we're sharing some kind of cute little joke, you ass. I see. I take my seat and sit politely as Uncle speaks to the man next to him, some visiting nobleman, too garishly dressed to be from Sia. I must say, you do hear incredible news coming out of that city of yours these days. Uma certainly keeps all of our tongues wagging around here. Don't ruin my wine by bringing that up, I beg you. I have half a mind to stay in Sia even after the wedding for good. So it's truly as we've heard. It's worse. Uma was once the greatest city in the world. No offense, Makram. And now that bastard Yasir is in charge, pulling ridiculously new lands and decrees out of his backside, well, I'm afraid that we're doomed. I thought the guild was ruling Uma now. Oh, the guild may have dragged the king out of his palace and beheaded him in the city square, but mark my words, Yasir was the one whispering in their ears. And now we have new ruling committee, overturning all tradition, headed by a jumped-up merchant pretending to be a lord. Is it true that Jinn and Uma live as free men? The man's tirade pauses as he stares at me, seemingly surprised that I've spoken. The guild has closed the arenas, they've destroyed the slave trade, my house lies in disrepair now that my servants are gone. He turns back to my uncle, face red and bloated with rage. Think of it, Makram. Jean walk the streets as if they own them. Okay, I have a plan. Jiraiya, darling, I got you. So, first things first, we have to get away from the captain of the guard thing. If the Shah takes us to his bedroom, which he probably will, the creep, then we, the two of us, Jiraiya, we're gonna make this, we are gonna get him really, really drunk, or maybe we know something is sleeping things, or something, one of those things, and, like that, we are going to get him drunk and escape. The captain of the guard thing, man, he's gonna be the hardest one to get by, but we're gonna escape him somehow, even if we have to freaking stab him. And then we will escape from the palace. We will run away, and we will steal a couple of valuable things here from the palace, sell them at the market or something, cover ourselves up, hide, run away, and just go for that city and start a new life. Sounds like a better place than here. How's that sound? That's gonna be a good idea. Okay, that's the plan for now. As if they're people. Aren't they? What? Aren't Jin people? They're animals. They're pigs. They're oxen. They're livestock. Easy, friend. Have another glass of wine before steam starts spouting from your ears. Uncle Makram calms the man, sending me a look that says perhaps best not to rile him any further. Well, I don't care about you, Uncle. You are literally sacrificing me to an old creepy man. Thank you. I have barely sat... What did I say? Excuse me. I've barely sat down before I am on my feet, and once again fleeting the table. In truth, it is not just unpleasant conversation that makes me restless. I can't stop thinking about when the feast ends, when all of the guests leave and when my family leaves, I am alone with my husband. Ugh. My stomach clenches. Where is Bahadur? Out of habit, his face is the one I seek among the crowd. Suddenly, it's all I want, to find him and demand we finish our conversation from earlier. I want him to comfort me the way he always has. I want him to save me, and he's not going to. So we are going to save ourselves. That's how things are going to be today. Jiraiya, alright? Bahadur is nowhere in sight, so I head back down the corridor where I last saw him. No one pays me any mind, and eventually I venture far enough from the main room that I'm alone in the quiet with a seemingly endless stretch of closed doors. But I suppose this is my home now. I have the right to open the doors. Probably. One door leads to a guest bedroom, so does another than another. One leads to some kind of storage room for antiques, or other such expensive follies. Another opens onto a room that is unfinished, half decorated, its eventual purpose a mystery to me. Bahadur isn't in there, but someone else is. The first thing I notice is Ran, crouching over a huddled bundle of ropes on the floor. The second thing I notice is the bundle of ropes is not a bundle of ropes at all. It is the Shah, lying crumpled on the ground. The third thing I notice, and this is the thing that makes my throat clench in horror, is the blood. All of the blood. Okay, I forgive you for trying to kill me if you killed the Shah. I'm good. Except we're gonna be blamed for it, of course, but still. It's better than whatever that guy was trying to do. So we're good. We still need to escape. It's on the floor, soaking and spreading across the carpet. It's on Ran's hands and arms, making his white skin seem to shine all the brighter. And it's on the Shah. It's coming from the Shah, spilling out in a ghastly river. Ran! Ran turns to me, but he doesn't look afraid or angry. He makes no move to silence me or hurt me. He just stares, not even at me, but past me into nothing. Ran, what happened? He's dead. He sounds dazed. He sways a little, and so do I. What? I fall against the wall. Oh, gods, the Shah is dead. We have to get out of here. Ran, we have to get out of here. I don't know if you can even hear me. Ran! Heavy footsteps approach swiftly from the hallway outside, but it isn't the palace guards who come busting into the room. Bahadur! He looks at the bodies and Ran, then finally at me. My lady! His eyes widen in horror. How must this look to him? The Shah dead, ripped apart, Ran covered in blood, and me. Bahadur, I didn't do this! More footsteps are approaching now. The Shah's absence must have been noticed. Or perhaps we were too loud. Bahadur, barely missing a beat, Bahadur grabs my arm and drags me across the room. What? He takes me to the alcove, to the alcove of the bay window and pushes me onto the ledge, following after him, pulling the heavy velvet drapes to close behind us. The very second the whole squad of guards pour into the room, spears and swords drawn. I watch through the tiny gap between the curtains as they take in the gory tableau before them, then point their weapons at Ran. Come on, we should have saved him. Ran rises to his feet, slowly still showing no signs of either fighting or fleeing. The commotion has also drawn guests from the throne room to clamor and poke their noses into the room. The air is filled with cries of shock and furious whispers as the news spreads person to person throughout the palace. Enough! The bellow rises above the rest of the noise, and suddenly a hush falls. Hamza steps into the room, cutting through the civilians and his own guards like they're nothing. He doesn't start at the side of the Emperor lying dead at the floor, but he does seem to change somehow. When he rounds on Ran, there's none of the stoic calmness left in him. There's hatred in his eyes. Seize the jinn! The guards swarm around Ran, but he doesn't resist. You did this. Why? Speak, creature! Fine, keep your secrets, filth. They won't be yours for long. Hamza turns to one of his men. The Heartseer, now! The man runs and soon returns with the Heartseer. The Heartseer cringes away from the bloody sight of the Shah, profound sadness etched into his gentle, wise face. My heart constricts as my uncle follows him into the room, looking distressed beyond words. He wasn't just the Shah's advisor, he was his friend. You... He stares at Ran in shock. Fear rises within me. If Ran did this terrible thing, what will become of my uncle, the man who brought him into the palace? Look to me, Jinn. Ran slowly turns his face, not even flinching as the Heartseer lays his hands over his forehead and chest. Nobody speaks. Nobody breathes as we all wait for the Heartseer to finish his reading. Suddenly he gasps and stumbles back. Well, what did the beast's heart reveal? The Jinn is guilty. He followed the Shah into the room. He came to kill him. Even the slave bands cannot contain the strength of an albino Jinn. He ripped the Shah apart with his bare hands. But on whose orders? On the order of his mistress, the wife. Well, fuck. Either the seer is a liar or Ran somehow knows how to manipulate the Heartseer. We're utterly fucked. Well, what? No! I'm so sorry, my friend. That is what I saw. On my order? Bahadur is looking at me, his gaze heavy. No, I didn't. I hiss the words as loud as I dare. Bahadur doesn't respond, but turns his watchful eyes back to the events unfolding beyond the curtain. Where is the girl? Hamza, please, my niece, she wouldn't do something like this. The Heartseer has spoken. Guards, find Lady Jiraiya and bring her to me. Almost as an afterthought, he adds, kill the Jinn. Ran, who has been as still as a corpse this entire time, suddenly comes alive. He wrenches free of the men holding him and searches for the door. Thanks to the confusion and his incredible speed, he managed to slip past Hamza, past the guards and into the crowd. The sea of guests parts to let him pass, everyone flinching away in fear. After him! As the commotion grows, Bahadur also springs into action. He flings the window behind us open. Come, my lady. He holds out his hand. What about the guard? What about Ran? He can take care of himself. Now, come. Excuse me. We slip out, completely unnoticed thanks to Ran's distraction. Bahadura doesn't let go of my hand, even as we escape the palace grounds, even as we dart through the back streets, even as we come closer and closer to home. Just as well, I can't feel my legs. I can't feel anything. I'm not sure if I can even move under my own power. They think I'm a murderer. They think I killed the Shah, my husband, my emperor. I'm a dead woman. Quickly, my lady. We make it back to the villa, and Bahadura ushers me inside. The sun has set, and the house lies in darkness. We don't have long. We may have a head start, but soon the whole city guard will be... They're already here. They're going to arrest me. I'm going to be executed. Bahadura steps in front of me, shielding my body with his own. But it isn't the city guard lying in wait. It's Ran, riffling through my aunt's and uncle's belongings. You. Ran barely acknowledges us, still searching the shelves and cupboards for... What? How did you... Beat you back? Not hard. Humans, they're slow, weak, and stupid enough to fall for a simple feint. He tricked them? They all think they're chasing me to the other side of the city. It wasn't hard to double back. He says it like it's simple, like it's normal for him. And he says it while pocketing my aunt's and uncle's possessions. What the fuck? What happened there? You tell me, mistress. Ran rolls his eyes and gets back to riffling. Don't worry, I won't take much. Almost everything in this place is shiny and pointless. Ran, stop. Bahadur's voice is gentler than I expected it to be. Really? I didn't do it gently. We need to come up with a plan. Got a plan, thanks. You're going to run? Far, far away. Take Lady Jiraiya with you. Bahadura! My lady, please, think. You cannot stay here. As long as you are in Sia, you are in danger. You must flee. Bahadura looks to Ran, troubled. You must take her. Keep her safe. Bahadura! Yeah, okay. Chapter 1. Okay, I'll go with Ran. No, she won't. I thought so. He doesn't even look at me, his attention only on Bahadura. You're both fugitives now. You can keep each other safe. She'll slow me down. And where will you go on your own? Away? Where? Away? You are the beast that butchered the Shah. The desert will not hide you. These men will not stop hunting you. Your best hope is to seek asylum in Uma. A human city. He practically spits the words. The only human city that will ever consider protecting a fugitive Jinn, and you will never get there without Jiraiya. She'll slow me down. And what happens when you come across travelers on the road, when you have to pass through a human settlement? What will the authorities do at the sight of the lone, unchecked Jinn skulking around through town? Ran, you need a master. Ran snarls, body pitching forward in a lunge towards Bahadura. Electricity crackles in the air, and there's that rage again, the white-hot hatred I saw in his eyes last night when he tried to kill me. Bahadura doesn't flinch, and Ran's claws stop inches from his face. With a snort of frustration, Ran steps back. Get ready. I stand, hand clutching at my chest while my heart still pounds wildly. Girl, are you listening? Hurry! Oh, he is talking to me now? Infuriately, he isn't wrong. Time is short. With a quick nod, we both Jin and I head upstairs. With haste, I dig out a warm-hooded cloak that I have never before had the occasion to wear. I do not have many practical items. The only other useful thing I managed to find is a pair of finely stitched waterskins. I have no money to my name. Everything here rightfully belongs to my aunt and uncle, after all. I was always just their ward. And yet my heart still aches to know how much trouble I've made for them. How I might never see them again. Oh no. Fuck that. They were trying to marry me off to this fucking 70-year-old man. Tears start to prick at my eyes. The sound of smashing glass comes from downstairs. Creeping to the bedroom door, I open it at the crack. Surely the guards can't be here already. Feel better? Madness. I can only hear Bahadura and Ran speaking in hushed voices. I strain to hear. Need each other. To Uma. Protect her. Human. Anything, kill you myself. I've never heard Bahadura speak so coldly before. He clearly doesn't trust Ran, and yet my life is in his hands. You're already slowing me down, mistress. Rand's voice is loud, actually meant for my ears this time. Startled, I head back downstairs before Rand can destroy any more of my Aunt Lamia's favorite vases. I'm ready. Bahadur and Rand is standing very close in a very unfriendly manner, breaks apart and turn to me. Ha, Rand snorts. You really are a little princess, Shabanu. Shabanu, my new title as wife of the Shah. What's his point? Damn him. What do you disapprove of this time? Why are you still wearing those sandals? You need boots. I don't own any boots. And you're still in that silly dress? Put something on more practical. I don't own any practical clothes. Rand pinches the bridge of his nose. God have mercy, this fool girl. Rand, there's no more time to argue. You have to go now. No. Rand steps closer to me until he looms above. Remove these first. He thrusts his wrist out towards me. His slave bands gleam. I look to Bahadur unsure. That would be a bad idea, Rand. If a human sees you without your bands, you'll be captured on the spot or killed. Damn it. Well, deactivate them at least. The enchantments on these bands, in theory, keeps the jinn's strength and rebellion dampened. It tames their wild blood. I don't know how. I've never done this before. Very well, Rand. I suppose if you were to protect Lady Jiraiya, it would be better if you were at your full strength. Bahadur takes my hand in his and places it on the clasp of one of Rand's bands. As he is yours, only you can remove the enchantment, my lady. I fiddle with the clasp until the band finally unlinks with a metallic click, then I do the same for the other one. Rand removes them, rub his wrists, and then put them back on, at Bahadur's stern glare. So, the enchantment's broken? Now they're just for show? Rand says nothing, but his eyes seem to glow brighter, redder than before. Come on, time to go. Bahadur, my lady. His eyes are bright with emotion. Hugs! Words catch in my throat. This entire playthrough is just, every time we get a hug option, we will hug. Instead, I throw my arms around the massive trunk of him. His own arms draw around me, holding me tight in a way he's never done before. Be safe, my lady. Rand taps his foot, agitated. You're wasting time, come on. The moment breaks, and I head to the door a few steps behind Rand. Oddly, Bahadur also moves to the door. I will do what I can to cause a distraction. Bahadur, my lady, it would be my greatest pleasure to perform this one final service for you. And with that, we step into the night. Bahadur goes one way, and Rand and I the other, towards the market road and the gates that lead out of Sia. Oh boy. Well, didn't turn out exactly the way I wanted it to, but still ended up the end goal is gonna be almost the same, so you know what? It's alright. We can deal. We managed to sneak through the streets unseen until finally we reached the market. Now we just have to make it to the gates. Ugh. I have to move a bit. As we pass a fountain, I take the opportunity to fill the water skins. Rand, here, take this. Rand reaches out to take the skin and his fingers accidentally brush against mine. He snatches his hand back like it's been burned. Awkwardly, I say nothing and tie my water skin to the belt of my cloak. Then we're moving on. This way. I freeze at the sound of approaching voices. Rand doesn't. He slips like a shadow into a nearby alcove, and I follow just in time. A pair of city guards walk into view, talking amongst themselves, but still clearly on the lookout. They know then. Everyone in the city must know by now. Still chatting, they come up to a natural stop right by our hiding place. I press close to Rand's left side, as close as I can without touching him, and whisper, "What should we do?" He doesn't respond. His eyes doesn't as much as flicker towards me. Rand, what's the plan? Nothing, not even an acknowledgement that I've spoken. Pinch! With a grim pleasure, I pinch at his shoulder. He recoils and stares at me in a way that tells me I'm very lucky he can't move freely right now. At least it's eye contact. Precious time slips away, and the guards show no sign of moving on. Finally. Men! A third guard comes running. A jinn's been spotted skulking around the palace. Returning to the scene of the crime? It has to be. With that, all the three guards set off running back towards the palace. Bahadur, thank you. Come on. Ran slips out of the alcove and hurries along the side of the road. I follow. Using the abandoned stalls as a cover, we make our way closer and closer to the main gates. When we finally reach them, however, my throat seizes on a gasp. Of course there would be a blockade of guards here waiting for us. Crouching by Rand's left side, I whisper once more. Don't do it, don't hurt them. Rand is silent, considering my words perhaps even when he turns and darts completely in a different direction, away from the road, back further behind the stalls. He wasn't even listening to me. Again. I follow and find Rand standing by the great wall of the city, looking up at it with great intent. This particular part of the wall has not been tended very well. A long fissure runs at least halfway down it, and the top has begun to crumble away. Merchants have stacked their boxes and barrels hazily nearby, and it doesn't take much to follow Rand's thoughts. How did you know? For an instant, I'm back at the auction, looking into Rand's cold, distant eyes. Those eyes that stared past me, past the crowd. Had he really been looking at the wall the whole time? You're always looking for a way to escape. Rand turns those same cold eyes on me now, and the slight curl to his lips says it all. Lucky for you, Shabanu. Shabanu, yeah. With that, he begins to climb. This looks very dangerous. Not sure about this. Stay then. He continues to climb, and I steel myself to follow. Fortunately, we're shielded from the side of the guards at the gates. This music's funky. But as the boxes wobble and strain beneath our weight, I pray nothing breaks. If the fall doesn't kill us, those men will. Higher and higher we go. Rand is now using the cracks in the wall to haul himself up further. Sweat drips down my forehead and stings my eyes, but I have no choice to try and ignore it. Rand reaches the top of the wall, just as I reach the giant fissure beneath. While I struggle to dig my fingers and feet into any crack that will hold me, he swings his leg over the wall and disappears over the other side. Bit by awful bit, I reach the top myself. At last, I can perch on the wall and catch my breath. As the blood rushes back to my dirty, scraped hands, they begin to throb. I did it. I can't believe I did it. That is impressive. I would have never have done that. Wow. But I am quite bad at climbing. Well, I actually did climb. It was like one of my hobbies. Did like the kind of climbing where you not on real rocks, but on like climbing walls. And that was very fun. But I'm very bad at it. I look out on the vast desert on the other side, and my heart pitches with dread and excitement. An entire world I thought I'd never see. And here I am, about to walk into it. Then I make the mistake of looking down. This time it's not my heart that pitches, but my stomach. Oh, that is a long way down. Rand, who has already reached the ground, looks up at me. He is too far to tell for sure, but I imagine he looks annoyed. I take a deep breath, swing myself over and start my descent. My arms and legs are trembling as I try to find a purchase in the lower wall. Climbing down is much harder than climbing up. I can't even see where I'm putting my feet. I have to find a safe route down while feeling alone. It's going slow. We don't have time for this. Rand's voice is hushed but harsh. Damn it, just let go. What? I hiss down at him. Surely I misheard. You're taking too long. Let go. Piss off, you're mad! Okay, that was not... Sure, whatever. Piss off, you're mad! We're both dead if you don't let go now. Damn it! Take a deep breath and let go. I don't die. Rand catches me in his arms, though he drops me almost immediately, so I still end up sitting on the ground, head spinning. He's already walking, heading away from CA, out into the desert. I set after him, keeping pace. Walking out into the shining sands is scary, but it would be scarier alone. Would they really follow us out here? He did kill that man that they seem to love so much. Besides, a human will chase a pea that rolls off his plate until it's back in his fat fingers. So probably. I didn't kill the Shah. Really? You should have told him that. Did you kill the Shah? Rand ignores me. As we continue to walk out into nowhere, and Sia starts to disappear behind us, anxiety begins to take hold. The shining sands are a legendary death trap. Even the most prepared of travelers have been known to be swallowed by the desert. Do we have a plan? I mean, do you know the trade route? All of the caravans follow the same path. Excuse me, I have to move a bit. And I need to pour myself some tea. Because I ran out. Okay. Night! All of the caravans follow the same path from the one desert city to the next. It's the one and only safe route. And that's for a feeble definition of safe. I've heard that it's certain death straying from the path. We're not following the trade route. What? We'll get lost. And he's back to ignoring me. Yeah. Just have to check if the mic still's going. We walk for what must be hours. Rand's pace hasn't slowed, but I'm getting to struggle. I can't go more than a few steps without stumbling over my own aching feet. We're keeping going. I can do this. I have to do this. I stumble again, this time almost falling. Still, Rand does not stop. We continue on. I say nothing more until a shadow that's been looming in the distance suddenly close enough to recognize in the morning light. Now, of course, I've never seen anything out here with my own eyes before, but every child who grows up in Sia knows the stories. The Western Hills are a savage place, where wild gene roam in packs, attacking anyone foolish enough to get too close. And we're heading straight towards them. Van, we can't! The hills are dangerous! Rand finally stops, turning back to face me. He snorts. Dangerous? Well, yes, alright, it's all been dangerous so far, but this is different. The gene will kill me. You're not wrong. Right, so there's no need to follow me. What? I won't force you, I'll go on alone. He says it with a glint in his eyes, letting me know just how much it would please him to be rid of me. Vaguely, I'm aware of a distant rumbling. You can't just leave me out here, I'll die! Probably. Rand turns his back to me and starts walking. This is gonna be a nice adventure. The rumbling grows louder. Rand, stop, you can't abandon me. He whirls back around, blood-red eyes fixing on mine. And why is that, Shah Banu? My heart starts to pound. More than a question. This feels like a test. He's waiting. You literally are my guide. You're my guide. I need you. Is that so? Suddenly, the rumbling is almost unbearable. We both turn to look back the way we came. Oh no. Behind us, the growling shadows of galloping horses. The city guards. Well, fuck. Should have probably thought about that. Run. I'm already running, bro. My feet no longer hurt. Terror has stolen the pain. Halt! By the law of Sia, halt now! The horses are gaining on us, quickly. Hamza's voice rings clearer with every command. If you do not submit to arrest, we will kill you. The terrain has been gradually changing under our feet. Suddenly I realize that we're already on the slope heading up into the hills. My foot catches on a rock and I fall. Get up! Rand doesn't stop. Scrabbling back to my feet, I keep running. It isn't until we reach the tree line that I realize something. The pounding hooves have faded. Hamza is no longer yelling. What the? Looking back down the hill, I see Hamza and his men sitting at the base of the hill, coming no further. Apparently, not even he will not risk the Western Hills. He locks eyes with me for a moment, and I know in my heart that this isn't over. What are you waiting for? Come on. Ren is already heading onward. For now, at least, I get to walk away. So I turn from Hamza and his small army and follow Ran further into the hills. Chapter 2. I wake. I don't remember falling asleep. More disturbing than that, my bed feels so hard. The room is so cold. Then I remember. I'm not in my room. I'm lying on the grass under the open sky. Earlier we ran until we collapsed. I must have fallen asleep. Ran? Yeah, you ran. Huh. He's here, lying a little way off, still sleeping. At least he didn't take this opportunity to abandon me. I look around. We made it to the tree line. A dark, dense forest waiting ahead of us. Something about the darkness unsettles me. So when I hear a low rustling coming from the undergrowth, my whole body tenses. Leaves shake, twigs snap. This isn't the wind, it's... Ran! I hiss at him as loud as I dare. He doesn't even stir. So much for heightened Jinn senses. I slide over to him, whispering into his left ear. Ran, wake up! Nothing. The ominous sounds are still coming from the forest. I think they're getting closer. Ran! God damn it! This feels like a bad idea, but I reach out to shake him. Please don't kill me for this. Suddenly, a flash of color leaps from the forest. Three things happens almost at once. I scream, Ran wakes, and I realize that the terrifying thing just sprang at me was... a deer? The adorable little doe hops away, leaving me with a new problem. Ran is sat bolt upright, his eyes wide and unfocused from sleep. He looks at me with a combination of fading panic and growing irritation. I feel a laugh bubbling inside of me. It bursts out of me all at once, relief and amusement and something a little manic. He is not amused. I shut my mouth. He continues to stare at me, eyes now unreadable. Morning. Is that a greeting? A statement? I don't know what to say, so I simply keep my eyes on him, trying to gauge anything about him. Ren stares back, and for the first time I find myself really looking at him. Not just at the white of his skin or the red of his eyes, but the little lines around his brow that suggests a lot of time spent frowning. And the lack of lines around his eyes, which suggests not a lot of time smiling. His tongue comes out to wet his lips and his eyes flick up to mine, and suddenly there are these tiny electric sparks in the air, like tension before a storm. Oh boy! Then he looks away and the air is normal again. He brushes himself off, grabs his water skin and is ready to move on in seconds. I scrabble after him, falling into step by his side. Oh boy, this does look ominous. It's dark and far too quiet. I'm overcome with the urge, the need to break the silence and keep it broken. I've read books about the hills, you know. Accounts of early explorers who barely escaped with their lives. If this is the same forest from those books, it's supposed to be like a labyrinth. Suddenly, Ran's hand shoots out and grabs me. He manhandles me over to his other side and husks in annoyance. I can't hear you. I think back to all of the times he ignored me while I stood on his left side or spoke into his left ear. He wasn't being rude. Well, he wasn't just being rude. You're deaf? Ran rubs a finger on the shell of his left ear. This one's useless. Use the other one. I want to ask more, but something tells me not to push it right now. So what's the plan? Get to Umar? I'm standing on his right side now, so that's just pure rudeness right there. Ran, the plan? I'm not going to Umar. What? Then where? Ran spreads his arms. I'm here. Here? The hills? No, it's not safe. As long as humans stay away, I'm perfectly safe. Not from me. He gives me a look that says, and what does any of this have to do with you? You never had any intention of helping me, did you? You're never going to come with me to Umar. No. His eyes fall to his wrists, gleaming gold in the pale light. Then why are you still wearing the bands? You must know that we need to go. In an instant, his enraged face is before mine. Not another word. Then he turns and walks away with long strides, white body quickly engulfed by the blackness of the forest. As soon as I break free from the shock, I give chase. Hey, wait! But he's too swift and sure-footed, and I'm soon lost and alone in the trees. I take a step, then another, then I stop. I can't turn back, but I'm afraid of what I'll find ahead. My stomach growls, and I eye up a cluster of mushrooms at the base of the nearby tree. Don't eat strange mushrooms, you absolute doofus. Well, maybe they will make things more fun. Nope, don't eat strange mushrooms. I'm already salivating, but I never read any books on fauna, so I don't know if these are safe to eat or not. Leaving them behind, I walk on ahead and try to ignore the gnawing in my belly. Good choice. I walk for a long time, but God knows if I'm making any progress or just going in circles. I need to get above the tree line. A nearby tree stretches up to the sky, its many branches reaching out like arms. If I could climb to the top, I might be able to see above the trees and get my bearings. I suppose it's better than wandering aimlessly. Probably. Taking a deep breath, I start climbing. I've never climbed a tree before, but I have climbed a wall pretty recently, and it can't possibly be as hard as that. I pull myself from branch to branch. It's hard on my hands, and I accumulate cuts and scratches with every branch, but I'm doing just fine. Just have to keep going. Fuck. That's all the warning I get before the branch I'm standing on falls out from under me. I manage to catch myself on a lower branch, but my heart is pounding wildly, my knees starting to shake. Nope, we'll keep going. Shake it off, Jiraiya, shake it off. Shake it off, shake it off. I try again, testing each branch a little more thoroughly than before this time. I can do this, I can do this. Suddenly, from below, I hear a series of short guttural sounds and, footsteps, lots of them. Wild Jinn. I go still, holding myself unmoving despite my aching, trembling hands. I don't know what they'll do to me if they find me, but it can't be good. There has to be a reason for all the stories about humans who go missing up here. They sound... excuse me. They sound like they're directly beneath the tree now, talking loudly in their strange language. How odd. I've always lived alongside Jean and Sia, but this is the first time I've heard the Jean tongue. I need to hold on a little longer. Fuck. Nope. The branch I'm standing on snaps. I plummet. Fall broken by every branch I hit on the way down. I land on the ground, bruised but alive. I come face to face with a group of wild Jinn. The shock on their faces quickly switches to a kind of dark glee. Suddenly I have a number of spears at my throat. The largest, most heavily scarred of them comes to stand over me. Looking down, he seems to be waiting for something. Bye! I don't think I can talk my way out of this, so action. Twisting backwards, I roll to my feet, running as fast as they will carry me. Oh boy, I barely get a few steps before the scarred Jinn grabs me by the arm and wrenches me back. The back of his hand connects with my cheek and pain blooms hot and shocking. The other Jinn step forward and grab me by both my arms. They pull me along effortlessly, laughing amongst themselves, no matter how I struggle or plead. I am their prisoner now. Gods protect me. Yeah, you're pretty fucked. Alright, I think this is a good time to end the episode. This is a pretty cool game. I am pretty into this. This is interesting. I will see you guys in the next one, or whatever I make. Goodbye!